Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Duane Marino. If you like these tips, subscribe, share, like, or comment. It is Tuesday morning, a beautiful Tuesday morning, and just driving into the dealership today, doing a 12-hour day, 9 to 9. And yesterday I was there from about, about noon till 8:30 p.m. And really this tip is about the fact that some will, some won't, so what next? And walking the talk and keeping it real, as they say. So here's what happened yesterday. We had an outstanding day at the dealership. 12 vehicles for a store that normally would do 6 or 7. So overall, great day, and they're having a strong month. And last night at about 6 p.m., the customer bus decided to pull up at the exact same time most of the salespeople were doing their deliveries. So I had to take 3-4 customers at a time, which I don't mind doing. I sell cars all the time. And it was a comedy of errors on my part and also on the part of the client. I'll give you kind of a quick rundown. So first off, when we talk about the importance of knowing your products and programs and incentives and inventory and price points, I can't stress that enough. When I landed a dealership to sell cars, I don't know all that. It's impossible for me to keep up with that. I'm in all dealerships, all brands, all markets. As a salesperson, that's not your excuse. This is your home. So first off, my flow was disrupted because I just didn't even know where to get the keys, where to get the plates, how to find cars, everything else. So that was a bit of mayhem. Second thing, dealing with multiple customers is never a good idea. Now, when every other salesperson is tied up and there's 3 or 4 people sitting around, you better figure it out. That's what I had to do. But you can't help but be distracted by all the other customers that are there waiting in the showroom for a price, out on a test drive, on the lot looking at the car themselves that you've given the keys to. You're trying to juggle a bunch of customers. And what starts to happen is you start to wonder if you've got the good customer. So you start power qualifying and pushing yourself through the sale and not spending the time or putting the effort that you know you probably should. Quite frankly, you can't because there's too many people and the customers weren't going away and the salespeople weren't freeing up their time. One of the customers came in on a flyer that they received that the dealership mailed them because they're not really being conscious with what the mailouts are. Perhaps it came from the manufacturer, and they've been in their vehicle for 3 months. They were on a 96-month loan. There was a little bit of a language barrier which made it harder to really explain, but what they wanted to do was they liked the fact that the flyer said the rate was 0.9% over 60 months and they were paying 3.9% over 96. They wanted to just change keys. Not understanding how much they still owed, had to be cleared up, not having picked out a car. They literally just thought the flyer meant they could just come in and change cars. So that was an interesting situation. The next one, father and son came in. He's a mechanic at a totally different franchise dealership, working for a car dealership. I never understand why somebody working for a car dealership would shop or buy cars from another store and another brand. So he's working at a Volkswagen store. I was at a Dodge store, and he's looking at a used Elantra. They just drove by, hadn't done any research. I personally hate hearing that, but you got to deal with it. That's going to take more time because these people need to be sold. And they just left a Hyundai dealership up the road, and the salesperson told them that this bi-weekly payment they would get would be with 0 down, and they were pretty sure it was over 60 months. I pulled out a calculator and showed them in 5 seconds. They're about $15,000 out, and it had to include a down payment and probably a 96-month term, if not longer. Anyhow, went for a test drive, loved the car, came back in, filled out a credit application, which to me is always an indication they're going ahead. Usually it is. Touch desks, numbers were okay. Next thing they proceeded to make up, and I do believe make up because the story didn't make any sense, about they had to talk to the mother. Now the father and son were there. They both signed on the credit application. Very few people fill out credit applications and sign them and really agree to verbal numbers which were accurate and then end up making up an excuse that they got to talk to somebody that of course is not available on the phone, can't go to them, and can't bring the car to them based on just our demographics and where they were living and how far they were from the store and the time at night. And then the next thing was, with me and the sales manager wanted a $5,000 discount. Next, customer comes in looking at a 2012 specific model. It was a Journey. Can't find the vehicle. Why not? It's on a hoist. So I ended up doing the walk around as the technician was nice enough at 7:45 at night, because they've got a night shift at this dealership, to bring the car down. Couldn't start the car, couldn't take it for a drive. So I'm doing a walk around on a hoisted vehicle. Customer's not interested in switching off to anything else. Said they've not really researched anything at all. Tried to do a lot close with the sales manager. It's a vehicle they wanted to get rid of. Really a fantastic car, great shape physically, no accidents, great price. I just kind of do a, what if on the lot scenario with the manager. Manager essentially presents a price to the customer verbally on the lot. that I was shocked by. Couldn't get the customer back inside. We're doing follow me, come on in, let's present an offer. And these two gentlemen leave. And the fourth one, a person was walking around the showroom for a good 20 minutes by himself, said he was already, helped by another salesperson, is still there. I started to chat him up and he says, yeah, nobody's talked to me. So anyways, he was there already a little perturbed. Don't know why he didn't stop me earlier. Is a Chrysler employee, or his brother has an employee certificate or a number. One specific vehicle he came in on that he found on the website. I go outside, we find the car, no problem. Actually, it was a Cherokee. Go inside, can't find the keys. Find out this particular vehicle was in the shop today getting something done. Keys are in the shop somewhere. Second set of keys are inaccessible because they're in accounting. Accounting is closed. Have to tell him there's no way I can physically have him drive the car or look at it. He says it's okay, of course, don't want to look at it, just want your best price. We go through all the numbers. He's got a Chrysler employee number. I tried to essentially wrap all the numbers before he left, and no test drive, no commitment, numbers are served. And to wrap things up, it was 4 for 4 strikeouts. I normally will close 2/3 of the people I talk to. It was a comedy of errors. It was really, quite honestly, if I look at all 4 situations, different levels of research that were and weren't done, language barriers, intelligence barriers, understanding of a car purchase barrier, time barriers, personnel barriers, product barriers, incentives barriers, some of which were my own fault because I didn't know them, and a lot of which were just conditions out of my control. So what's the point of this tip? Well, a lot of trainers are going to tell you that they sell everybody and you should sell everybody. To me, as somebody that forgot what it was like to sell cars when they did, or haven't done it in so long, they've gotten a God complex in the training room. So part of the reason why I work in dealerships and sell cars is to keep it honest and keep it humble and realize no matter who you are, stuff is going to happen, sometimes back to back like that, that's going to make you a little upset, depressed, and question yourself and your own processes, maybe your own self-esteem. Other thing, markets are different. So just based on your own demographic of credit and cultures and other things, you have different challenges or opportunities than somebody else, and that's fine. So deal with it as it comes up. A couple of these situations last night, Google Translate would have been great, except the language barrier wasn't so bad that I really didn't need or couldn't use it because it was a little insulting when I offered it to somebody. So every situation is different. Every customer is different. The theme here is brush it off. SW, SW, SWN. Some will, some won't. So what next? I meditated or reviewed or replayed every transaction. I saw where things could have gone a little smoother had I known the lay of the land a little bit better. But quite honestly, in looking at it, even if I did and how things were sort of wrapping up with the client and what was being offered, I'm not sure the outcome would have been any different anyways. So it is what it is. I'm looking forward to another great day today. It's going to be a 12-hour day. It's just before 9 a.m. right now. I've been working in the service drive for the first probably hour or two, and the rest of the time on the floor, making calls, booking appointments, working with customers, and definitely sitting with the desk manager and going through a lot of coaching there. Anyways, I wish you great selling and a great attitude, because that really is the number one thing you got to maintain. Keep analyzing yourself and your process, but don't beat yourself up, because sometimes, as you know, in the real world, you can get back-to-back luck and back-to-back, unlucky. That's the way it goes. Take care. We'll see you soon.